Welcome. This practice is going to be to explore the solar plexus chakra or the Manipura chakra. It's going to be a little bit vigorous and about 45 minutes long. You'll definitely want to have 2 yoga blocks or a low stool and a chair, if you can, that will stay on a stable surface, on a carpet, or we'll slide it onto the mat when we use it. I want to let you know that we're going to be doing Kapalabhati breath practice, which is pretty vigorous also, and there are some contraindications if you have high or low blood pressure, heart disease, any kind of anything going on with your eyes, like glaucoma, even ears, like vestibular stuff, maybe vertigo. You might not want to practice Kapalabhati breath, but just come back to some easy 3-part breaths or another breath practice that works for you. So the solar plexus chakra, it is located between the belly button and the diaphragm, all right? It is from the place from which we get our power and our self-esteem. It is, the color is yellow, so that's my favorite color. It's the color associated with the Manipura chakra. But I'm not going to be too quick to associate my preferences or my story with the energy directly, right? So we want to be careful that we're not reading too much into this. It's a fluid practice, and things can change in your chakras all the time, right? Let's see, what else do I want to tell you? Physically, it correlates to the digestive system and our metabolism, and also our musculature. And the specific organ is the pancreas. So, of course, we're going to work on building strength and muscle today. We've been correlating the yamas and niyamas, kind of seeing which yamas and niyamas work with the different chakra energy. And today we are focusing on tapas, which is self-discipline, the niyama of tapas. So things we want to do are to be fully present. Right? We don't want to change anything in the moment. No judgment about the moment. We just want to fully experience our practice. In order to do that, we need to slow down and do one thing at a time. So try and be real focused on that. And just meet your practice and your body wherever it is. So we're actually going to start laying down, right, with our knees bent, feet flat on the mat. So roll yourself down safely, maybe starting on your elbows, and then lowering your head. You can pad your head with a blanket if it's helpful. So maybe lift and lower your pelvis, tuck your shoulder blades together, lengthen the back of your neck. So the mantra for the Manipura solar plexus chakra is I can. And maybe that is enough, those 2 words for you today. Or maybe there is some specific action you want to take, or goal you want to reach. You could add that to your mantra, I can, and you fill in the blank. There's also not just an individual, but a relational aspect to the tapas, self-discipline. So if there's a particular person you want to dedicate this practice to, just accepting them exactly how they are, not wanting to change them. That might be your dedication, your intention. So once you've set that, let it go. And on inhale, take your arms out to the side, reaching your fingertips way out. And then on exhale, just cross your arms over your shoulder height, so the elbows cross. Soften the belly. Soften the diaphragm. And do that again. Inhale. Take your arms out and open. And then exhaling, soften. Cross the arms again. And again, inhale, open. And then exhale, soften and close. Inhale, open your arms out again. And then your next exhale, draw your knees into your chest and gently rock from side to side. So one way we can access that solar plexus area would be to slowly and gently raise your head upward and raise your shoulders and just start to feel those upper abdominals activate. And then exhale, go ahead and lay your head down. Try that again. Inhaling, if it feels safe for you, raise your shoulders up. Just maybe gazing at where the ceiling meets the wall, right? So no strain on the neck. And exhale, lower. One more time, inhaling, rise up. And exhale, lower. And then inhale, take your heels to the ceiling. All right. So we want to start to activate the core a little more. You're going to exhale, lower one leg. And come on back up. And then exhale, lower the other. And come on back up. So stick with the exhale for one more time. Exhale, lower. Inhale, come on back up. Exhale, lower the second leg. Inhale, come on back up. And exhale here, relax your shoulders again. Now we're going to switch. You're going to inhale, lower the leg. And exhale, back up. Inhale, lower the second leg. Back of the neck still long. So maybe that's putting the inhale in there, giving us more heat in that chakra. One more time. Inhale, leg down. Or you might not have noticed anything. That's okay too. Exhale, back up. Last time. Second leg down. And come on back up. And soften the knees again. And plant your feet. So we're going to start in on some bridge poses. Right? Really want you to focus on not so much the hips, but that belly area today. So the feet stay rooted, the shoulders stay broad, neck relaxed. Inhale, up you go. Lift those hips, lift that belly, exhale down. So you don't have to go too high to start, right? Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Just continue to move with your breath. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Keep on going. So starting to feel your spine nice and supple. It supports the front side of your body. Back side of the body stays long. Maybe one more. Hold there if you can for a couple of breaths. Push those elbows into the mat. Fill that space in the front body. And then exhale. Gently release. All right. So I'm going to invite you to come onto your elbows. If it's safe to stretch your legs out, do that. Come onto one elbow and then the other. So this is kind of a modified fish pose. If it feels like it's too much on your low back, you can keep your knees bent. Right. And what would it feel like to push into your elbows and lift your hips up off the mat? And exhale down. Right. Inhale. They might only come up a quarter of an inch. That's okay. Lift. And exhale down. And one more time, inhale, lift. And exhale down. And then sit yourself up. And check in with your low back. Make sure there's no strain. So we could stretch our legs out again and maybe try it on our hands. My fingertips are pointing towards my hips. If that's too much on your wrists, you can take your fingertips out to the side. So exhale everything out. And inhale, lift your hips. And exhale down. Inhale, lift your hips. Lead with that solar plexus. And exhale down. Try and keep your hips nice and level. One more time. Can we stay here? Maybe gazing up. Lift, lift, lift. And exhaling down. Nice. And then come on to an easy seated pose. And you can sit up on a block if it's helpful. And we're going to take some easy twists, just flowing it first to one side and then the other. Start to get some circular motion. You're just corkscrewing from the waist up. And then come on back to center, we'll go a little deeper. So I'm gonna cross my left leg over my right. Modify as you need, right? Maybe that's the bottom leg sticking straight out. Sit up really, really tall, right? Sweep that left arm behind you. Take the right arm up in the air like you're hanging from your wrist. Shine that solar plexus. And then twist toward your left leg. Full breaths. And exhaling, gently release. Come through a boat pose, right? Shifting onto your hips if you can. Raise your heels up. Keep lifting from your chest. Come back to that intention you set, I can. And exhaling, gently release. So it occurred to me, and these practices are all about the energy in our bodies. So lift your right arm up and around as we go to our second side, and then twist, modify as you need. And yes, this is all about taking action, but also about the energy we put out into the world. So maybe your can is simply that. Maybe how you enter a room. With openness and acceptance. And exhaling, gently release. Come to another boat pose. And then we're going to practice Kapalabhati breath. So I'm going to stay sideways just so you can see. There's a variety of ways you can do this. If your knees are up towards your ears, you might want to come into hero pose when you're sitting on your heels, right? So if that's not available, sit in a chair or on your stool or even on your blocks. You could stack your blocks, get up a little higher. I might do that. So, because this is also a relational practice, I want to suggest that if you're in a room with somebody who struggles with their alignment, when they're seated and they really need they need something to help them get their hips, their legs below their hips, offer them a prop, right? So Kapalabhati breath, it is a forceful exhalation and a slightly slower natural inhalation. And the goal is to increase the speed at which you can do it and also the duration. So slowly, it looks like this. You should be able to see my abdomen pulling in on the exhale. So sometimes it's hard to kind of learn to keep the mouth soft and exhaling just through your nose. So just practice that, maybe a little bit more. You want to try and keep the shoulders and the rib cage and the spine pretty much out of it. It's just the abdomen. So there's not a lot bouncing up and down. So let's see if we can speed that up. Let's go for 15 repetitions. Here we go. And just relax. So you probably felt some heat building there. Again, if this practice isn't working for you, choose another easy pranayama or breath practice. So let's see if we can go for 20 this time, right? So inhale, and here we go. And just relax. All right, so I'm going to come off my props now. And we're going to explore, I'm going to keep my blocks with me though, we're going to explore some bridge poses. So we can really tune into that, building that strength in the abdominal area. So we're going to start on our elbows in a low plank, walk your knees back, right? So if you need to stay on your knees and maybe lift your knees just occasionally, that's okay. If on an inhale, you can lift your knees. We're going to stay here for just about 30 seconds. Think about that long line from your heels reaching out, crown of the head reaching out, and everything in between nice in alignment. Front of the collarbone spread wide, back of the shoulders spread wide. Nice, easy breathing. Nice, then float your knees down and walk your knees in. Maybe do a little cat-cow. Just relax those belly muscles because we're going to go again. I want to invite you to explore where your abdominals engage as you change the angle. Right. So for me, I felt that more in my lower core, right? Especially that part that's supporting my low back. You can get safely onto your blocks or a stool, right? So that your elbows and forearms are the support, right? You squeeze your upper arms together and find your low plank. And see where in the abdominal region you feel this. So all the same stuff is happening. Heels reaching out, crown of the head reaching out. Collarbone spread wide. Back of the shoulders spread wide. So we're just changing the plane slightly. Inhale deeply. Where'd you notice that? And exhale, relax. Draw your knees in again. Maybe do a little cat-cow. All right, so you're your own best teacher. If that's enough for you, come to an easy seated pose. Take a few breaths. Just stay fully present, right? That's the plan. That's the goal. So now I've got at least 2 legs of my chair on my mat, my stable surface. So I'm going to bring my elbows to the chair, right? And now we're going to try that plank from here and see where in your abdominals you feel it. So here we go. So for me, I definitely notice I'm feeling this more in my upper abdominal solar plexus area. It's less strain on the low back. If you want to increase your energy in your Manipura chakra, you might consider doing your low planks on a chair. A couple more deep breaths. And then pull your low belly in, walk your feet in. Wherever you are, we're all going to come to standing safely. Right? On inhale, find your Tadasana. Take your arms up over your head. And exhale your hands right to your heart. Okay, so to get this practice going a little bit more vigorously, get my chair out of the way, we're going to do some sun salutations. So remember that modifications can be, instead of downward facing dog, you can come to all fours, tabletop, right? Instead of using the floor as your base for down dog in your hands, you could use your chair, you could use the wall, right? So you don't have to go all the way up and down. Find what works for you. All right, so roll your shoulders up, back, and down, palms facing forward. Shining your solar plexus forward. And then inhale, arms up. Soften your knees if you need. Exhaling, fold all the way over. Inhale, half forward fold, fingers under the knees. Exhaling, take that left leg way back in high lunge. Stay here. Shine the solar plexus forward. Use your blocks if it's helpful. Squeezing your inner thighs toward the midline. And then find the top of your push-up plank. Modification could be on your elbows instead of your hands. And we're going to do some mountain climbers, kind of nice and slow. Left knee in and back. Right knee in and back. Left and right and left and right and left and right and left and right and left and right. Back to your version of plank, and then exhale, chaturanga down, maybe knees, toes, do it with good form, and then drop your hips, stretch those legs out, and inhale, gentle cobra. We're going to stay here just in this little baby cobra, just feeling those back muscles get warm. All right, feeling that solar plexus in contact with the mat, filling it up with the breath. And then exhaling the forehead to the mat. Reverse your push-ups, knees or toes, and find your downward facing dog. Right. Just breathe. You could walk your dog if you like, or bend your knees, straighten. Then on an inhale, take your left leg up in the air. Exhale to knee to the outside of the left elbow. Leg back up in the air. Knee into the chest, center. Leg back up in the air. Knee cross body to the right side. Leg back up in the air. And then bend that knee 90 degrees. Open up the hips. Maybe you gaze over your right shoulder. You see your toes and your peripheral vision. And pull that left knee back into the chest. Float the knees down if you need. All right, all that could have been done from tabletop all fours. And we're going to set ourselves up for warrior two. So heel to arch alignment, shoulders right over the hips. And take a couple of breaths. Then bring your fingertips to the base of your skull. Draw your elbows back, right? Focusing on the solar plexus area. Nice and stable lower body. Exhale, elbow toward the knee. Inhale to center. Exhale, right elbow toward the right knee or back leg. Come back to center. Do that 2 more times. Keep in that strength. 1 more. Come back to your warrior two. And then windmill yourself to the top of the mat so that we can finish our flow. Back leg meets the front. Wiggle your toes, sit down in your imaginary chair. Sweep those arms up. Another breath. Firing up those legs. And inhale, find your Tadasana. And exhale your hands to your heart. And we'll do that same thing on the other side. So back into your Tadasana, roll your shoulders up, back, and down, palms facing forward. And then inhale, arms up. Folding forward safely, exhale. Inhale, half forward fold. And now the right leg's going way back in high lunge. All right, so this should be your second side. Shining that chest forward, inner thighs working. Come back to your intention, I can. Top of the push-up plank. And some mountain climbers. You can speed these up if you want. You don't have to, right? So it's more of a jog. Just keep going. However works for you. Again, you could be doing this on your elbows or all fours. You got this. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, find the top of your push-up. Exhaling, chaturanga down. And let your body drop. All right. On an inhale, we're going to take Cobra again. Maybe you want to go a little deeper, a little warmer. Few breaths. Nice, then exhale, forehead toward the mat. All right, reverse your push-up. Knees or toes. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Again, maybe walking it out, right? Or bending the knees. Right. And the right leg goes up in the air. You're going to bend that knee. Maybe find your foot and your peripheral vision. Open up those hips. And then pull the knee in. We're setting up for warrior two. Get there safely. And again, fingertips to the base of the skull. On an exhale, bending toward the bent knee, then folding toward the back leg. Just move with your breath. And then come back to your warrior two. And windmill yourself around to the front of the mat so we can safely finish our flow. Back foot meets the front. Wiggle your toes, sit down into your heels, and raise up. Arms still burning those quads. And inhaling. Tadasana. And exhale your hands to your heart. So we're going to start some one-legged balance with our left leg. So lift your left knee. And then open up from the hip, right? Leg bone moving in the socket, and find your tree pose. All right, use your vristi. And you can do whatever you want with your arms today, right? Raise them up, take them out to the side, maybe holding elbow to elbow. Emphasizing that solar plexus chakra. So from here, we're going to go right into dancer pose. Remember, you could be near a wall or a chair, bring that knee back forward. Now everything's going to stay on the railroad tracks, right? So bring that knee back to meet the other. Maybe your hand goes around your foot. This might be enough. Or you can start to push your foot in your hand, raising the opposite arm. Try and keep the shoulders and the hips facing forward. Take your time. One thing at a time, right? Maybe you want to take your pose forward a little bit or a lot. So being fully present. Come back to Tadasana. Now what I forgot to mention at the beginning was that there's a construction site next door. So if you're hearing ambient noise, my apologies. We'll work to stay fully present anyway. Second side. Right knee up. And then rotating, leg in the hip socket. Find your tree pose. And then decide what you want to do with your arms. So if you crossed your elbows one way, try it the other way. And right from here, we're going straight into dancer pose. So stay long on that supporting side. Use your breath. Take that knee back behind the body. Maybe tilting forward. And then safely coming out of it. It's a practice, right? And come back to Tadasana. Right, so check in and see how your body's feeling. We're going to do a couple more sun salutations. So come to the top of your mat. Wiggle your toes and sit down into your heels. Take a breath here. Then exhaling, gently forward fold. All right, so cat pose, counter pose, just be mindful of your back. Inhale, half forward fold. And exhale. Left leg way back. Then right leg comes to meet it. And chaturanga down, chest and chin, hips, all right? So this time, a little deeper cobra, or maybe you're ready for an up dog after that. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up in the air. Exhale, knee into the chest. So we're setting up for warrior one now. Remember, a down dog could be all fours for you. Got some space down my middle of my mat for my heels. And I'm going to bring my shoulders right over my hips. Take a breath here. Then exhale, hands to the mat. Back to the top of push-up plank. Exhaling, chaturanga down. Inhaling, cobra or maybe up dog. Exhaling, down dog, take a breath. Then inhale, right leg up. Exhaling, setting up for warrior one. Second side. All right, a couple breaths here. Then top of your push-up plank. Exhaling, chaturanga down. Inhaling, cobra or up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Take a breath. And inhale, exhale, soften your knees and find your way to the top of the mat. Maybe that's a hop. Maybe it's one big step. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, sit down into your imaginary chair again. Take a breath. And Tadasana. And exhale your hands to your heart, which may have gotten a little more vigorous heartbeat. So we're going to take out the extra breaths, and we're going to do that. Each movement on one breath. Again, practice safely. Inhaling, arms up. And come back to Tadasana. Let's start over. Inhaling, sweep your arms up in chair pose. Exhale, hang like a rag doll. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, left leg back in high lunge. Inhale, right leg meets it. Exhale, chaturanga down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, find your warrior one legs. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, top of the push-up plank. Exhale, chaturanga down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, find your warrior one stance, right leg forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. If this isn't working for you, slow it down. Inhale, top of the push-up plank. Exhale, chaturanga down. Inhaling, cobra or up dog. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Find your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, sit down into your imaginary chair. Inhale, Tadasana. And exhale your hands to your heart. Woo! Well done. Take a breath. Inhaling, arms up. Soften your knees. Exhale, gently fold forward. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhaling, bend your knees. Take the right leg way back in high lunge. All right, float that knee down. Take the left leg to meet it. All right. And if hero pose is available to you, come back to hero pose. So if not, regular easy seated pose is good, right? Just want you to take a couple of breaths. We're using our core muscles to hold ourselves up off our legs. Focus on that solar plexus area. Maybe close your eyes. Back to that intention. I can. So we let go of whatever happened in our practice. Just meet yourself where you are. And then we're going to find our way into puppy dog pose. So on all fours, and you're going to walk your hands way far forward and drop your chest toward the mat. The goal is to keep the arms spread, pushing into the palms, arms straight. Maybe your forehead drops to the mat or a block. Use your props, right? Or you could do this on a chair. Arms on the chair, just pulling backwards. Just a few breaths here. So the weight is not so much on the head as it is you're being supported by your hands and those nice strong arms. Feel the side body, solar plexus shining toward the ground. Nice. And inhaling, safely come out of it, walking your hands back. right? Find your modified plank. And exhaling, chest and chin to the mat. Then the hips drop. Make a pillow for your head with your hands. We're going to do half bow pose, one leg at a time, and then full bow pose. So go ahead and bend that left leg maybe a couple times. Grab your strap at the back of your pant leg, or perhaps you can find your foot. So I really want you to think about everything on the railroad tracks, so don't let your left heel fall outside the body. Keep it right in line with your hip. Maybe it is enough just to work on pushing that left hip point into the mat so your hips are still level. Reaching that knee toward the bottom of your mat. And exhale and gently release that. Maybe you want to wiggle your hips from side to side, or take a moment to just notice one leg versus the other, how it's laying on the earth. And then when you're ready, we'll go to the second side, right? So everything on the railroad tracks. And keep the upper body relaxed, efforting only where you need. And exhaling, gently release. Take a couple moments, lengthen your spine, wiggle your hips. Then when you're ready, we'll go to full bow pose. It might be enough to keep your forehead on the mat and just practice this quad stretch. No judgment, right? Just being fully present to whatever comes up. Or maybe you want to start to push your feet into your hands as the impetus to raise your shoulders and your knees off the mat. And exhaling, gently release. Make that pillow for your head with your hands again. Let your legs stay wide if that feels good. So we're going to do that one more time. This isn't working for you. Maybe try another twist. Or thread the needle. If you'd like to try bow pose again, we could also add in a modification. You could rock to one side. Shine that solar plexus out. If you do it on one side, roll to the other. Come back to that intention that you set. And exhaling, let it go. We're going to reverse our push-up. All right, if you're still with me, come to tabletop. Rock your tailbone from side to side. And then find your way to seated. We're going to practice butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana. Again, you could be sitting up on a block if that's helpful. Really want to think about shining that abdomen forward, upper abdomen. So it's not a curved spine. Right? Maybe you could walk your hips to meet your heels a little more. Keep that Abdomen, upper abdomen, heart space shining forward. Maybe now you want to release your feet. If it's okay with your knees, take them a little further away from you, more like a diamond shape. And again, shine that chest forward. Just notice where you feel it differently. I invite you to hold your left foot with your right hand, and on inhale, open up your left arm. Easy twist. And then exhale, come on back to center. Switch, holding the left foot or ankle, right foot with the left hand, and then open up the right arm. And come on back to neutral. Shine the abdomen forward a little bit more. And then if you want to exhale and fold over. Maybe one day our head would rest in that little pillow space that our arches make. Or not. Just accepting whatever is there right now. Nice. And inhaling, gently release. And we're going to roll ourselves back onto the mat safely. One more pose, invitation to practice fish pose. Right? So remember, posing and counter posing. That was a deep forward fold. You might want to lift your hips into a bridge pose, just neutralize your spine. And then if you'd like to try fish, stretch your feet out again. Rock to one side and put your palm underneath your glutes or your thigh, and then bring the other one together so your thumbs are touching, palms facing down. You're pointing your toes, making the legs really long. And then on an inhale, you're going to push into your elbows. As they bend, you're going to lift your chest, gently resting the crown of the head on the mat. Not a lot of weight there. Keep your shoulder blades open. Collarbone open, shoulder blades squeezing together. Totally focused on the solar plexus. No pain in the low back. And when you've had enough of that, lifting your head so you can lengthen your arms and roll back down onto your back. When you get there, rocking from side to side, you get your hands out from underneath you. So invitation to settle right into Shavasana. You might want to practice Shavasana with one hand rested right there to your Manipura Chakra. The other hand could be on your belly. So now letting your intention go, and just becoming fully present to yourself. If your mind starts to wander, just let the thoughts go. Come back to your breath. Nothing to do until you hear my voice again. So as you bring your attention back to your space and begin to get moving, maybe one more time, taking your arms out to the side. Inhaling. You don't have to do this, but if you like, exhaling, folding your arms over your chest, like you're giving yourself a hug. Then get going as feels appropriate to you. Maybe that's bending your knees and drawing your knees into your chest. So I don't know if you could hear, while we're in Shavasana, the biggest belly grumbling I've had in a really long time. Must be something about the practice and the digestive system. So on an inhale, you might want to push yourself up to seated or safely roll to one side. Take a moment to check in with your body. Maybe bring your hands to your heart center. So a Dalai Lama quote to share with you today. There are only 2 days in the year that nothing can be done. One is called yesterday. The other is called tomorrow. Today, you can. Today is the right day to love, to believe, to do, and mostly to live. So have a great day. Thanks for practicing with me. The spirit in me honors the spirit in you. Namaste.